Blessings and welcome forward to Reasons right here at the Trail Life. I'm your host, the Great Owl, in the presence of my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh.
Perfect love.
Perfect love. Yes, Brother Singh, we've been on a little break and it's good to be forward, and I really just want to catch up, our viewer subscribers and what we've been doing. So first of all, I just want to give thanks for your prayers, right, for your concerns and from the genuine energy of care that you've been sending towards us. Hallelujah. Some have gotten in messages and some have felt in spirit, right? And so for the last 2 months, we've been going through transitions as Brother Singh is resetting and, bringing forward a new layout to his experience in terms of home life and family and business life. And so that repositioning of his experience as a family has taken up a lot of time. During the same time that he was going through this transition, here in Kingston, I was going through a lot of bad moments in between good moments, soul searching. A few months ago, I decided I was going to do a documentary about my journey to Christ. And in that decision, it was like the soul speaking to me, and the Spirit was saying, you need to give a visual to your experience. And that visual would coincide with the audio journey, because I started producing music 2 years ago and bringing the musical and the creative side of my life to the audience who did not know this before. There was some inference to it when I started that I was an artist, but I'd gone through the trauma of losing my best friend, who was a part of my group, which was a part of for 10 years, Clayton Lynch, and such. For many years, my artistry was confusing and emotional pain. So I started producing music in 2020, and for the last 2 years, I've been in the studio. So a few months ago, I decided I was going to release my first set of what I would call, I liken it onto the basement tracks of Jimi Hendrix, because it's raw, and the Lord was in my spirit saying, hallelujah, Jerome, introduce the people to yourself. There are a lot of people around me, Brother Singh, like yourself and others who knew me before, who knew of the poetry I was doing, the kind of music and the transition of my journey from, my way of thinking to the way of Christ, and how that has also changed musically. But you have to have the evidence of what it was to see how it changed. So the Spirit was on me 2 years ago to start releasing my music. So this year now, I released a freestyle album on my SoundCloud, The Great Owl, at soundcloud.com. And that particular freestyle brought out a world of negative energy, because the person was doing the graphic works, and just to get it out, everything, it was like it was a direct attack. And I was like, it's just freestyle, it's just to introduce myself as to how my process is, the raw me out in the open as vulnerable. It was a warfare. Anyhow, we got it out. And then after that, under the Trail Life label with Black Star Line record with Kafara Moore, we agreed to do an album. And so I started now producing, and I would say bringing forward those music that was in my spirit, that wanted to come out, to bring the story into its fullness, so I can now continue from where I am. And so I've been working on that for the last couple of months, and I've been getting a lot of traction. And I released one track from that album, and it's called Face to Face. And during this video, Brother Singh is gonna show the image of everything for that song, so you can go on all the major platforms and get it. So that was one aspect. The other aspect, instruments were crashing, my technology was crashing, funds were low, but hope was getting higher, because I really went back to the soul. And I was like, whoa. People were saying, are you guys, what's wrong? And I was like, no, nothing's really wrong, even though something is wrong. And I shared with some people what was wrong with the equipment and what was happening to my stuff. But the truth of it is, I learned one thing. When you're really down when you think you're down on your face, what is your real cause for doing what you're doing? And I remember it was to serve the living, hallelujah, God, by whatever means. I wasn't doing it just as a popularity medium or a medium to just feel myself important. And so I like the fact that people are supporting us. I love the fact that people are, concerned when they don't see us. It means that there is a reason for me to not just share my journey in terms of how a vlog's here, but the journey as the artist I am, because I'm an artist, I'm a vocalist. And so these songs that I'm producing are poems that are now being made into music. And Brother Singh, I introduce you to some of them because, you know, we're here together. You are doing your musical stuff now. So in between all of this, here we are, serving the Most High God. And so it is a segue into our current offering, which is about knowing yourself. Because through all of this, remember we were talking about just before, life is real. And you have your creative mind, your ministry business, your spiritual business. We gotta pay bills. You got a family, we got to survive. How do we do this if we do not know ourselves? So our current offering is knowing self. How do you know thyself? Brother Singh.
Yes, Brother Greater. I'm glad to be doing the most I work, you know? Giving thanks for the movement. You know, thanks for everybody, patience and prayers. Yeah, know thyself. I remember growing up, I never really know myself, you know. Just I go with like anywhere the breeze blow, you know, because as a child, you're not gonna really figure out the world and self just like that, you know.
True, that's true.
After years
Hallelujah.
of maturity and seeking clarity, you know, seeking righteousness, then we get to know self more and more now, you know. So you can't just get up and just know thyself. You have to study yourself, you know, as a class. Take yourself as a study. You have to do a degree upon you.
Yeah, subject.
Yeah, you are the subject.
Yes.
So you have to know each aspect of self. And we have to know self and know, say, okay, this is what makes me angry, you know? And when I do get angry, Father, help me please for just do the right thing. You can know self and know your thoughts, know your actions, and know how it affect your reality.
Absolutely.
And control it. Control it, because remember, say, we see and learn things, you know, from society and culture. And we behave just to do things that not specifically right with God.
Absolutely.
So same time we have to know thy Bible in order to truly know thyself and truly become a holy one of God, a righteous one of God, a man of God or a woman of God. We have to study the Bible and study ourselves.
Yes.
And put in the actions what the Bible says we must do and do the right thing, you know.
Doing the right thing as it relates to self is, I guess, is very important. Because when we talk about knowing thyself, it's not a selfish exploit in self-grandizing. It's not about, you know, boastful, egotistical expression. As you say, it's about understanding the functionality of your being. And the functionality has biological process, it has psychological process, it has a spiritual process. And so we put this together as, some would say, a way of life. You have your belief in the living God, you have your faith in how that expresses itself as your experience. And one of the ways faith is tested to try a person's knowledge of self is when you have a particular belief or behavior you think is natural and you find yourself unable to fulfill it as a regular default state of activity, like it's second nature. You find how difficult it is to train what is seen as an unwanted or unwarranted behavior into order. You begin to realize that it's not easy. You begin to realize that self-knowledge, self-awareness is one of the essentially well talked about parts of spirituality that is rarely known. And I'll expound just a little bit further. Most times spirituality or a religious life is around looking at patriarchs, the saints, Yahshua Mashiach, Yodeva, the living God. We look at the perfection of God and a lot of times see the inadequacies and the imperfections of human beings. What true spirituality is the gnosis of self. Self in its functionality, which is biological, psychological, and spiritual. How do I operate within this planetary system, within this living cosmos? What is this planetary system? Why am I here? How do I thrive and survive with the right state of mind? How do I foster that? These things are a part of self-knowledge, a part of functionality, a part of knowing thyself. So a lot of people say, well, this person is lazy. Well, that person is lacking in self-love. That person is not aware of themselves or what's the purpose of work. Work isn't servitude, it isn't slavedom, it isn't slaveship. As though we know some do look at work as such, but in the context of understanding the autonomy, yeah, no one's gonna stop me there, the autonomy of the human soul. Meaning, why should I depend on the hands of Brother Singh by your effort to take care of the needs of my biology and psychology? I have to, by nature, what is the power of my right, stand up for myself, learn for myself, do for myself. It is integral in our understanding that that be established in purpose, else we're going to have a big problem as to doing anything. We're going to be lazy. We have no motivation. We have no self-awareness. We do not know what is our purpose. We do not know what we're doing here. We do not know why we should be working. We do not know why we should be going to church. Yes, because God is real, but why is God being real and I needing to eat important to me if I feel like garbage? If I feel that no one loves me? If I feel like the living experience is just evil? Sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. So then you would have to know more about yourself than just what's based upon your experience. You have to go into the spirituality. So we'll come back now to what I was saying. The functionality is the spirituality. You have to come back to saying, really, why am I here? And then you go into God. Why is God this way unto me? Why did God create this system and put me in this system? Then you learn about the planetary system, nature. You learn about how it functions in relation to you and how you function in relation to it. Another part of knowing yourself. So now, somebody might say, I'm not interested in what Great Old is interested in. It's okay. Because what I'm interested in is helping to fulfill my sense of being. That's me learning about myself, seeing what I can do, right? And growing in it, expressing it. And that is important to why I get up now and you say, I might not have been doing these videos for a month and a half, but because it's who I am, it's part of my purpose, and I know my calling, hallelujah. I'm gonna get up today, and we're gonna make our plans, and we're gonna be forwarding a new video, Knowing Thyself, Brother Singh.
Yes, Brother Great Old. Because one major question what people always ask, where am I? You know, where am I going? You know, where am I coming from? You know, because as we're born here, you know, in a time that things have been happening.
True.
Things have been happening, you know,
yes.
And we're born in a period of time.
Yes.
In that happening.
Yes, ongoing, eh?
Ongoing happening where we fall into place now and just follow the timeline and we living in this time.
70s baby. I'm 80s baby. I'm a millennium, Generation X, I'm baby boomer.
True.
To help you out a little, sorry.
Respect,
man. Just give them a little reference here.
Yeah. So we have to try figure out life. Figure out this world. Figure out ourselves. Figure out other people. Figure out information. You know, we have to study things. We have to research. Because if we don't research, no, you know, we're not gonna know.
Hey.
If somebody not tell you something, you're not gonna know. If you not research for yourself and
True that.
study the thing for yourself,
True that.
you're not gonna know. Somebody might tell you something, you know. It might be false, it might be true.
Yes.
But if you not do your own research, you know, to find out if this statement is true or false, then you might have go around with false statements in your head, thinking it's truth.
Being misled, eh?
Yeah? So I saw this world stay, you know, give with false information and we thinking it's truth. Some people, them grave bed or dead bed or, you know, hospital bed, believe in many things that is not of God. Have no God in mind.
Not true.
Well, probably when the dimension start open and darkness start come, then they start think about God. You know? But we live in this place where people don't have God on their mind.
Yes.
People don't believe in God. Them look down on Christians. You know?
Absolutely.
And say them Christians don't know themselves because them believe in this foolish story. You know? This book was just right. Them believe in it. So many people out there with many ideas in their mind, far from God, living life, think them know themselves.
That's sad.
You know, living in this esoteric reality, this new age mindset, you know, thinking about Gnosticism and hidden knowledge, you know, secrets that normal people don't know about. And I saw them end up going to magic because they must say them have higher power. People want power, you know, wealth and power.
True.
Fame, you know, wealth, power, fame. So if them can get the wealth, they must go want the power now. Because the wealth will bring you to power, you know, because so the large man them start linking up now. You have the wealth, large man them start linking up. Come in our circle, brotherhood. And them think them know themselves.
Yes.
And I say, yeah, I get more knowledge. What the normal sheep
Person
don't
not
know.
getting, yeah, the cattle not getting that for real.
You might get hidden knowledge, will uplift him reality. And a brotherhood will uplift him status. You see me? Because me know a large man, you know. He must sell him big mansion of 10 house. 10 rooms, if you say, sorry. 10 room house, 10 bathroom. He must sell it to a next large man who me know. And he must sell it for little or nothing. Little bit of money. Him just say, I'm just getting rid of it, I'm leaving the island. You know, do you want it? And just offer a little bit of money. So the brotherhood give benefits. Yes, sir. So these brotherhood thinking them know themselves and higher than everyone in the earth. And I said these people don't know themselves because truly them don't know themselves.
That is true.
Because them don't have no sense of where they're coming from
Or where they're going.
or where they are as well.
Yes, you're right.
You know?
Yes.
Because them get the knowledge, you know. And say, oh, these people are these people. We are here.
Yes.
This is what truly happened in the past.
Yes.
So them get fear know them history. Because if you don't know your roots, you know, you don't have no firm foundation if you know where you are growing to.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely, I'll meet you on that.
Or where you are. You have to know roots.
It's interesting too because yes, you're talking about like the powerful men who would have been educated in more quality and palpable information. And why that's important is that if you are made up, as you would say, if you eat good food, you're going to be strong and healthy, right? So if your mentality is made upon facts and truth, actualities versus a belief, you would tend to have a different perception of what is possible. And just thinking about what is possible in a different way also makes you think about who you are in a different way because you know think of yourself in a new light as to what is possible within you, right? And so now you find that people who are highly educated, these men in these organizations, usually have a vaster perception of what the actuality of self is, that a lot of people would limit the perception or the definition of self to the biological entity that they are. You find that these higher men have expanded perception of identity to the entirety of things. They see themselves, we talk about it, that even though I'm not agreeing with it, we talk about people who say that them think they're gods, right? They have this perceptivity of being so powerful, it endows them with a certain authority. And so one aspect of why these individuals act this way is because they're palatably being grown, being mentally fed untruthful, powerful information. And the question is then asked, does it mean that I or you or others who are not a part of these hallelujah organizations cannot get this so-called superior knowledge? Well, one thing I learned about something that is labeled superior, there's a next word to it that we should ask, or we should attach to it, called exclusivity. The perception of exclusivity is what makes people think that this power is so awesome. It is only to me and to those who I have taught this technique. That's why it's a superpower. It's this most great, powerful ability. But actually, these great gifts and these superpowers, these mental abilities, are as natural as the sun, moon, and stars. Hallelujah. However, here's where we go wrong. We go wrong in the admiration and the emulation and the embodiment of other people's spiritual principles. That is the issue. I'll say it again. We go astray in the embodiment, right, of other people's principles, other people's ideas and beliefs. Because within our nature is the ability to observe the bird that's singing a song. It can be background to you. It can be of no consequence, no importance. Or you can choose to factor it like I am into my moment. And so my sense of self, like these egoic bastards or misguided individuals, can expand beyond me seeing myself just as my sinews and my bones, and seeing myself as a part of the cosmos, a living planetary system, which empowers me to know that to every action is a reaction, not just in a human context. If I hurt you, you will hurt me. No, in a context of if I offend nature, if I offend God, the nature of existence will offend me. Hey, because I have sent forward negativity, and negativity will return to me. So knowing yourself is a choice. You can start being aware and observe, and observation will lead through inspiration to information. Many times we imagine, we ideate from what we have seen. There's so much image in bombarding our consciousness, and then the imagination, right? The machinations, which means the process of thoughts in our mind, and when those machinations becomes fixed, they become a mentation. So why am I saying mentation? You call that a mindset in the layman's term. And this mindset is what also I call in my therapy a default setting. What is a default setting? You got a laptop, you got a computer. It is that setting that it will go back to as your factory setting when things go awry. When the features and the things that you believe in becomes deluded, distorted, and no longer viable. So how you think about yourself, how you are, is your default setting. And when you do not have true knowledge of yourself, you have broken self-image. You feel you are of no worth, no value, because you cannot fulfill the dictates or the designs around the society, because maybe you think you should be strong if you are not strong. You should be tall if you're short. You should be shorter if you're tall. Yeah? You should be cuter if you think you're ugly. You should be born a boy if you're a girl and feeling that you're not in the right body, or vice versa. These things come in, and now a lack of true knowledge that would be garnered through just humility, gentility, humbleness of spirit an inclusive perception of reality. Listen, yes, an inclusive perception of reality would give us a broader view. And so now, when you say, I'm inspired by the Word of God, you're drawn to where the information is. You're drawn to where the activities is to be able to transform your life. You're able now to learn from individuals. You don't just go into a situation and then cocoon yourself and isolate yourself. Well, I am this, I am that, I am not them. And you forget that deep default setting that says we're all living beings within the living cosmos. Before your pretty features of I'm Rasta, I'm Christian, I'm Jew. How about the human soul that you are? How about the living being that you are, responding harmoniously, kindly to another living being, human, animal, plant? How about that as being a part of your knowledge of self? And if this is including your knowledge of self, how about when you act on that knowledge, you will not toxify the environment. You will not pollute. You will not pollute with weaponized thoughts of racist, sexist, immoral disrespect of nature. You would not promote that, propagate it, right? Or propagandize it. You would promote through interaction, interpersonal and intrapersonal connections in faith. You'll be doing like the true servants are, like the Good Samaritan. Knowing yourself means that you kind of know others, because we're all in the planetary system. We're all sons and daughters of the Most High, even though some of us are not acknowledging that, not behaving in a loving manner. But when you know, now you can defer. You don't have to contend. You see that this person is fighting over something that you know it's easy for you to gain this, to regain this. So why quarrel with them? They put a gun in your face and your ego says, I work for this. I spent so much years working for this. How dare you? But that ego can cause you to no longer be able to function in the planetary system. Knowing yourself will let you remember, I've earned this. I can earn it 70 times 7, hallelujah, over. I've had this beautiful woman in my life and she has left me. I can have another beautiful woman. I've had beautiful children in the past. I can also have beautiful children again, right? Whatever has been done can be done, so you don't have to limit yourself to your station in life, to the era you came into the world, the color of skin you are, and saying because I am this way, this is automatically going to happen to me. Because I'm a 70s baby this way, because I'm Generation X, they're laying on it. Because I'm the millennials, they're just calling up my name, yeah? Because I'm the third wave, second wave. You know that language, Brother Singh? We know that language. We're not trying to beat people down. We're saying knowing yourself engenders an ability to process things a little bit better. That's all we're saying, because when you know yourself and you foster a love of self, it doesn't matter if you're eloquent as me, our Brother Singh. It doesn't matter if you're skinny, slim, fat, dark skin, light skin, Indian, Chinese, Jew. It does not matter. I'm telling you. What matters is the state of your being. That's what really matters. How you are in being yourself, Brother Singh.
Yeah, brother, great all. Come like how you say, we know that we are the children of God. Once you're a true believer in Christ, who truly follow Him in righteousness and true faith, you're a true child of God.
Yes. Yes.
So if we know ourselves as a true child of God, we are God's chosen
Absolutely.
people in terms of the Israelites and the spiritual Israelites.
Yes.
You see me? You have the true bloodline Israelites here.
True Hebrews.
And then you have the true spiritual bloodline
Yes.
Israelites.
Yes.
You see me? Because once you come to Christ,
Yes.
you become the bloodline of Israel.
Yes, you're welcome
You see
within the
me?
gates of the kingdom.
Yes, I. So to the bloodline Israelites, know that you are the true people, the chosen ones of God. And know that there is a curse upon you
Yes.
because
Hallelujah.
you have fallen from the knowledge of God. You
Knowledge
start
of
worship
self.
other gods and idols. You see me? Them a worship things. Not for we gone to new age Israelites, you know. true bloodline Israelites, you know.
And we've been doing it for generations too, it's not just now.
Yes, I.
That's how we felt.
So if you know, say, no, man, the Bible is a history book about the Israelites. You are the Israelites. All these slaves that, you know, come from slave ships, Israelites.
Yes.
Because it's a curse fall upon us.
Yes. Our
Everything
relation to the land.
written in the Bible, you know,
Yes.
and prophesy what will happen to the Israelites when we
True.
stop worship God.
True.
And it happened.
Yes.
And the same thing now, everybody hate each other. The Israelites hate each other, you know.
Hallelujah.
War against each other. Mother against daughter. Daughter against mother. You know, everybody
Father
a
against
fight.
son. Yes.
It's a curse on the Israelites. So if we know ourselves, if we come back to the mercy of the Most High,
True
in
that,
grace,
brother. True that.
you know, repent and know ourselves as the children of the Most High.
It's beautiful when we can return to the family, because that is what has again been one of the greatest loss from a loss of identity is a loss of family structure, family cohesion. Because again, we do not care about self, our creation, our creator. Because we're so emotionally detached, we don't have the truth as our way of life, our self-image of experience. We're sad. And so one of the first things that we express is a kind of a rejection, and we push against those closest to us. So our families usually suffer from our emotional moods. As I said, it's mood, it's temperament, and temperament is low or high engagement, or the inconsistency of that engagement. So we are temperamental. So you say we are fighting against each other, but the fighting against each other is just a broad stroke. What we really are is temperamental. Our temperamental nature has caused us to be unable to process deep emotional hurts. So we have the epigenetical hurts that came through our ancestral sin, right? We know one as being slavery. We know one as being chattel slavery, because you have homeland enslavement and you have chattel slavery. So we know that there's displacement within homeland, displacement across boundaries, borders and frontiers. We know of the psychological, psychosomatic trauma that affects deportment and behavior that a certain number of Aboriginal so-called black people suffer from under Christian codes and chattel in the West. And we know that this lack of Aboriginal identity and Hebrew Israelite identity has caused them to float around under the ideology of nation states, which are controlled by European forebearers, and hence an identity is promoted that is Eurocentric or Anglophone, Francophone, or whatever has been the conquerors, right? And so a false identity is fostered through conquest. A false perception of your religious nature is again fostered through conquest and natural selection of the elite, perspective. We are tailored into a perception of self. So a lot of us out there thinking we are well cultured, well educated, but we are well programmed. And this is very important. And I've been accused of being well programmed. I'm autodidactic, hallelujah, so I'm not didactic. I'm not pedantic either. So I don't know what a person get that from. So I can see they can infer that I might be well programmed, but no. You see, when you study for yourself and you perceive for yourself, the same information that others are pervading over, you can pervade over it too. No one is saying that your identity negates you from looking over it. Yes, there are gray areas in perception, in historic perception, I'm saying. And we cannot just fit our minds to, I'm trying to reclaim my Aboriginal heritage as if it is something that was only material and can only be regained through material reparation, right? Repatriation. That's the other word I was looking for. It's two of them mixed, right? But there is an emancipation of yourself from mental slavery, brother. Remember that? Mm-hmm. No, but yourselves can free your mind. It's not what the Emperor said and Bob Marley reiterated. Mm-hmm. It's something we have to talk about. So I won't burden your minds too much today with my pedantic nature, but what I will say is this. Self-awareness makes you have nuances that are a little different to the vast cohort called the collective. because you're an individual, but the individualization of your consciousness do not make you a threat to the collective. All of us, if you if you view us from 100 miles up in the sky, we look like little dots up on the surface. There's nothing distinct about us. You'd have to come close up. So it means that the human experience is collective as well as it is individual. Because even though you're going to see us moving in these sways of vibrations, like the movement of energy in downtown Kingston, if you look, you can see the dance and you can see the music. Because I've observed it literally as a social scientist talking. But you can also see me. Right, brother Singh? All right, so remember yourself, know yourself, and so anything you want to leave with them before we chat out of here, brother Singh?
Yeah, give thanks to the Most High for what He revealed to me. And still revealing, you know, because me ask.
Yes.
Ask and it shall be given, you know. Yes, because if you don't want something, it don't make sense the Most High give you, because you're not going to have no value for it.
True that,
you know?
brother.
So true, me see the value for the knowledge and wisdom. I grab to it and hug it up and say thank you, Father, you know. Because we give thanks for what I learn, still learning, still going to learn.
Yes.
But if you know, say, we are children of the Most High. And that is the ultimate, knowing thyself. And knowing that a true Christ are the gateway into eternity.
Absolutely.
So we can know ourselves all we want, you know. But without Christ, we don't know nothing about ourselves.
So part of knowing yourself is knowing Christ, is knowing God.
Yes, sir.
As again I say, a broader spectrum. We don't have to see it all in the individualization, but yet the individualization is a part of the collectivization. So all of us together, each one teach one, each one reach one, iron sharpen iron, because that's how we reinforce the knowledge of self, being a man, being a father, being a provider, being a teacher, being a caregiver, yeah, being a woman, being a mother, being a teacher, being a caregiver, yeah, being a lover, being a friend. These knowledge of self, we have many dimensions of the awareness of self. And we give thanks that in that awareness is Christ. In that awareness is Youth Haven Way. So until next time, this has been the Great Hall. Yeah? Just reminding you to like, share and subscribe to your life right here in Seala Media. Support all the channels and just keep praying for the experience, support the musical drive I am currently putting forward. I'm the Great Owl. That's my name on all platforms, so you type in and get the music. Brother Singh is also producing music, more works to come. And in the self-growth, in the spirit of your faith, be at peace with the gift that you are. So until next time, once again, this has been the Great Owl. Reasons right here at your life, in the presence of my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love.
Perfect love.